Welcome back to another preview for PC Hoops with Coach Kim English. I'm here with someone different this week, Sports Director Taylor Begley. Very exciting. So we are going to talk about the game this week, but first, the Friars made national news today. Devin Carter, he's on the Naismith Player of the Year midseason team.
Yep.
He's been huge for the Friars this year, especially since Bryce Hopkins left. Just talk about him and the award a little bit.
Yeah, so he's been on the already announced on the Defensive Player of the Year watch list, and that's a huge feat. Obviously prides himself in his defense, but he's really taken over for this Friars team. He's the reason that they've still been able to be playing tough in the Big East Conference after losing Bryce Hopkins. That's a huge loss. And yes, you felt it, but Devin Carter has put this team on his back, and so I'm glad to see him getting the national recognition that he deserves. I feel like we've been talking about it a lot, but you just don't know how that's going to translate across the board and whether people outside of the Big East and outside of the Northeast are going to see that. So it's great to see him amongst 30 players nationally being named to this midseason team. So really just phenomenal season so far by Devin Carter and really putting himself in great position to play at the next level.
Now to the game on Tuesday, they played St. John's. They won 75-72. And even though Ticket Games didn't have all the numbers, he had 11 points and 1 rebound. I was at that game.
You were there, yeah.
His face got smashed.
He battled, literally, when we say.
Yeah, I had a video of Coach Kim English just picking him up, and he looked like he was hurt. And he comes back not even 5 minutes later. How huge is that, just momentum-wise, to have one of your players go down that you kind of need at this point, then come back in and hit a three right when he comes back in?
It just shows the fight of this team, right? And the ability of them to play in these physical games, because this is the Big East. The Big East Conference, you're going to be playing in physical games. That's obviously an extreme example of that, but we've seen it. We've seen these physical games against UConn, countless games that are decided by one possession. They just came off of a really emotional and tough game against Butler, which they came out on the wrong side of that. And I talked to Coach Kim English on Sunday for the show, and he said he was looking forward to seeing how his guys responded to that adversity. Did they come out flat the way they did against Villanova after the loss to Connecticut? And that was the complete opposite. I mean, those guys fought, and it was great to see. And obviously just a huge boost when you see a guy, you're like, this guy is putting his body on the line for this team to get a win, and just showing how much they care. And they want to fight for every single win for this team.
Right, and in addition to this, Josh Oduro, he was back, first time since his son was born. Coach Kim English is the godfather.
How awesome is that?
Oh, I nearly cried at the press conference, and you could tell how proud Coach English was. But what does that say about him? He brought Josh Oduro from George Mason, but this is a very personal thing. Your child, the thing that it's the most precious thing in your life.
Totally.
You now hand that over to your coach. What does that mean about the relationship between them?
I mean, it says a lot about a coach, right? Like, a coach can be a good coach on the court, on the field, whatever sport you're talking about. But to be able to make that connection and really the impact on a player's life, like, that's all you can ask for in a coach. And it just, especially at the college age, like, they're kids that come in as freshmen and then they leave men, and you're seeing that with a guy like Josh Oduro now, right? And that is so important when parents are handing their kids over to a program to say, can we trust this coach to not only develop my son, daughter as a player, but as a human being? And clearly they've had that situation with Kim English playing a huge role in Josh Oduro's life, and it just goes to show by being the godfather of his son. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's a great recruiting tip. If I'm a recruit, I'm like, this guy's
a great guy, right? Yeah.
Now, looking forward to the rest of the season, we're kind of towards the end. They're at 500. So the next 6 games are super, super important. What do the Friars have to do to maybe get a chance to dance in March?
Well, it starts on Saturday, right? So they're going to be facing against DePaul, and easy win. I mean, they beat them pretty decisively the first time around on the road. So I'm pretty confident that the Friars are going to be able to get that win. That puts them above 500. And let's just get it rolling here. I mean, you have to try to win as many games as you can. They've played a lot of these teams close. Even the number 1 team in the country, they played close and had a chance to win that game in stores. So if they could capitalize and win some of these tougher games, which they do have down the stretch, obviously Marquette again, UConn, they're going to need to pick up some big quality wins and continue to do that down the stretch here in order to make their case. And then obviously have a good showing in the Big East tournament.
For sure, and that game is on Saturday against DePaul. You can catch the full analysis of Talk with Kim English one-on-one on PC Hoops with Coach Kim English on Sunday at 10:30 on FOX Providence. Thank you, Taylor.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.